Hey, it's Andrew Brown. We're talking about in-place versus blue-green deployment for Elastic Beanstalk. And so Elastic Beanstalk by default performs in-place updates. And so in-place and blue-green deployments are not definitive in definition, and the context can change the scope of what they mean. So I understand in-place to mean something very specific, being an application developer for many years. But then when I started working with AWS, they tried to call this something completely different. So we have to understand what they want us to think that it means as opposed to what I know it to mean. But in place could mean within the scope of the Elastic Bean environment. So as long as it's within the Elastic Bean environment, it's considered in place. So all the deployment policies provided by EB could be considered in place since they are within the scope of a single EB environment. If you were to spin up another one, another Elastic Beanstalk environment, and then switch between them, then that would be considered blue-green, according to AWS. But things that are definitely in place to me would be all at once, rolling, and rolling with additional batch, and immutable, because these are all policies that would be considered in place according to AWS. The next one is in place could mean the scope of the same server, so not replacing the server, because if you could consider the environment the entire server, right? So if you have to have a new server and switch over, that would make sense there too. Deployment policies which do not involve the server being replaced, so all at once, and rolling. So as long as the server is not being replaced, then it would be considered there. And I think I meant up here to list all of the deployment policies here. I don't know why the last one's missing, but that's fine. In place could also mean within the scope of an uninterrupted server. So this takes it further, where traffic is never routed away from the server or taken out of service. It implements zero downtime deploys where blue-green occurs on the server. And this is how I know in place to mean. And so an example of that would be something like Capistrano. So if you were in the Ruby on Rails development world, they use a server called Unicorn, and Unicorn is known for being able to provision other processes while the other processes are running and switch them over. So literally, when I would do deploys would happen within seconds. And that's something I really miss. It's something you can still do, but there's obviously some trade-offs. But the definition of in place that AWS wants you to know is this one. So this is what the exam is going to refer to. So this is what you should understand in place deployment to mean, okay?